G'day and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm talking about grevillea, pests and diseases. Now, regularly monitoring your plants for any infestations or disease is key, so you can prevent and nip any problems in the bud before they get out of hand. If you've already subscribed to my channel, you would have seen some past videos on the reasons how and why I've mounded up my garden beds for better drainage, airflow around the plants, etc. Now, sometimes, no matter what you do, whether you do everything by the book, you are going to run into some kind of pest and disease problem down the track. Now, I've recently noticed something going on with my beautiful grafted Grevillea pilosa from Western Australia. The foliage is looking really dirty, and I've noticed the leaves here have gotten all skeletonized. These have also dropped off all around underneath and around the base of the branches. I think it may be Grevillea leaf miner. Now, Grevillea leaf miner is from a little brown moth that's larvae burrows and tunnels into these leaves, causing this really skeletonized brown look. Now, the leaves drop off the plant. Now, this affects photosynthesis and also stunts the plant's growth. You have an overall dirty, unhealthy looking plant, as you can see here. But it doesn't often fully kill the plant if you deal with the problem. And I'm suspecting that because this is like a semi-prostrate, weeping type plant, the foliage is laying on this mulch here, and we've had a very wet spring, so I've figured that the bit of humidity in the air and all the rain that we've had have caused these pests to absolutely thrive in these conditions. I've just turned up at Bunnings. I'm going in to look for some sort of a spray-on applicant to help us combat these Grevillea leaf miner. Okay, here we are in the garden aisle, my favourite section in this place. As you would know me by now, I don't like to use too many harmful chemicals. You know, like some of these products can be pretty nasty to not only the wildlife in your garden, but our environment. I'm looking for one of the less harmful products. Now, I was going to use the neem oil, but at the look of that price, it is a little bit expensive. So I'm going to go this eco oil. It'll do the same job as the neem oil and is under half the price, so you can't go wrong with that. Now, this product is, you know, one of your less harmful products on the shelves in here, and I'll explain more about it later on. So how am I going to get rid of these pesky critters once and for all, you may ask? First, I'm going to cut the branches and the foliage back by about half. Then I'm going to rake and clean up the leaf litter that's laying on the ground that could be harbouring these little pests. Then I've picked up a product called Eco Oil, this one that I have just here. I'm going to give the remaining branches and leaves a really good spray from top to bottom once I've finished all the other process. So let's go. I'm just going to start snipping away. All right. I might be a bit rough with this, but sometimes you don't have any choice. All right. Branch off there. Yep. As I'm cutting, I'm still trying to leave some of these branches that are trailing out, you know, so the plant will still continue to grow outwards. And I do have to leave some foliage on the plant. So you've got to get right in amongst it. There's a bit of the old treat it mean and keep it keen type method, as you can see. Over time, the mulch and some of the soil has built up around the base of the trunk of the plant here too. and that's never a good thing because you can end up with collar rot, and that brings in more disease and that sort of thing just in there. So you want to try and keep it, I don't know, even about half a foot away from the trunk of your plant. Okay, now I'm just cleaning up the remaining leaf litter. Plenty of it there. Now I'm picking all this up, and this is going into the green bin. Now I'm just cleaning up this last bit of leaf litter, as you can see. And I'm putting all of the branches and litter that I've cleaned off this area straight in the green bin so it doesn't contaminate any other plant. That's how much we've cut off just there. Have a look at that. See? And this is how much is left. That'll grow back quite fine. So there we go. I've cleaned up the plant as much as I can, and you may be thinking, geez, there's not much foliage or branches left, but this will grow back absolutely beautifully, and I'll do a follow-up video on the progress. I've read the label thoroughly, and what I'm going to do is spray all around the base of the plant. I'm going to spray on the bottom and the top of the leaves and all of the branches, right? And this may need to be repeated in every 3 to 5 days until I notice the plant starting to improve. Now, I don't spray this stuff on really stinking hot days because that's a big no-no. And I also try to keep any spray drift away from neighbouring plants, etc. But this product works by deterring pests from the plant. Yeah, let's put it that way, that's all I'm going to say. I've got my gloves on, so I'm just going to start spraying all around here. Try to keep it all away from me. Oh, I think that's pretty well covered what's left there. Okay, so I'm going to change gloves now. And what I'm going to do now is get some fresh mulch, and I'm going to put a nice layer of mulch around this area. Nice fresh mulch. Churchill, Churchill, good girl. There we go. We are about done for today. So I've put that fresh mulch around there. One thing I am going to do as well is give it a really good feed of some sea salt solution. So I'll put 1 capful of sea salt in a 10-litre watering can, give it a really good drink around the base. Because this one's grafted on Grevillea robusta, it will really soak that up, and the sea salt helps prevent too much shock to the plant, gives it some nutrients that it needs and that sort of thing. But yeah, we'll do an update video and see how the progress of this plant goes. If you're enjoying my content, feel free to subscribe to Binchy's Garden on YouTube. Leave a like and a comment. I'm always happy to respond and hear your feedback. Also, check out my Instagram account. I put plenty of daily content on there as well. We'll catch you next time.